Hello, my name is Omar Rapisad. It's Wednesday, March 6, 2019 at 5:36 p.m. in Toronto. So I just took my pressure and the power is turned on today. I'm being scanned full body. And here's the pressure 155 over 88 and 80 pulse. So I'm in pain. My head is hurting. My eyes are burning. My eyes are hurting. My back is hurting. The back of my neck is hurting. And I'm just going to demonstrate to you the tagging. Notice it's not going off all the time. There are periods that it goes off all the time. But I'm recording, so the power is turned off. So, and I think the battery is low on this, so. Well, let's, no, actually I'm not going to change the battery as yet. But you can hear the alarm. The alarm is not as loud because the battery is going. So I'm tagged. I think the battery actually died on this one. So let's use this. And another indication of high electromagnetic radiation is dead batteries. When batteries are drained very, very quickly, it's a good sign that it is being pulsed. The device is being pulsed, or there is a lot of electromagnetic radiation around it. So I recharged it maybe 2 days ago, and it's dead. So the alarm is not going off on this one as much because, oh, here, the back is hurting, and that would explain it. The back is tagged. And I'm getting, when the back is tagged, the lungs are affected, and I feel asthmatic. And I feel like there's pressure on my lungs. And this is what happens when the power is turned up. There's a feeling of pressure applied to the body when the power is turned up. When the power is low, you get this burning sensation, like a low burn sensation, and a feeling of tiredness when it's turned on for a while. So at the end of the day, you're completely, utterly exhausted and drained. When the power is turned up, you become incapacitated. You get headaches, like I have right now, especially when the temples and the eyes are tagged. The left eye was tagged all day. Like the back of your eyes, they're very painful, burning. You get pain, like physical pain, that is disabling. And if it's really extremely high, then of course you're bedridden. You just wouldn't be able to get up in bed, out of bed in the morning and go to work. This is how you miss work. So that's today's sampling of the radiation with which I'm tagged. So I wanted to talk about the ongoing the ongoing targeting, for lack of a better word. It's more than targeting. It's a goal. It's an agenda that people in this building is engaging in to get me removed. And as I said many, many times in different videos, I am a target. And that came about with people in the building calling the cops and lying about me and getting me flagged. Just by the number of calls alone, it flags you in the system. It forces the cops to put your name in the system, basically, because there are a lot of calls about you. And once that happens, then the cops monitor you. But if somebody around your unit volunteers, quote unquote, to do that, then the person gets a contract to surveil you and keep an eye on you. Now, since the cops are subcontracting or contracting, then the person who is working with the cops is subcontracting, and then the subcontractors could further subcontract, and so on. You can get a whole lot of people following you around and reporting on you. So everybody, when a target says everybody is targeting them, well, there are people placed around you every single time you go out to target you because they're subcontracting. So it almost seems like everybody, quote unquote, is doing it. In reality, not every single person is doing it. It's just a lot of people are placed around you to report on you, basically, because they are subcontracting. When I reported this to the cops told me I was mentally ill and paranoid because, of course, they're covering up the experiment that's being done. So the point I'm trying to make in this video is there is an ongoing case in this building. I took the corporation and I took a worker to the Human Rights Tribunal for human rights abuses. And before this happened, they were trying to get me out of the building. So after I did that, the attempts to get me out of the building intensified, became worse. And remote technologies, signals that I'm measuring with these detectors, are being used as they were before, but are being used in a more aggressive way to encourage me to leave, number one, and number two, to shut up, just stay quiet about what's going on. Human trafficking, remote human trafficking. Very, very big business, a lot of money, billions of dollars worth of revenue, illegal revenue, that these rings are generating for very powerful criminals. So the message sent to me is shut up by these criminals who are being paid by their bosses, who's around my unit, or who comes to the loading dock and talk underneath the window. How do I know it's directed to me? Well, the topic of the conversation is always the same. If she's an effing whore, she really used to be a prostitute, none of which is true, because this is what I'm registered with. And the report is either being leaked or being released to the public. So I'm being harassed with it, and it's ongoing. So it's always talked about. There's always something fresh to talk about. So the power is intensified. The power to cause pain, the power of these signals that I'm mentioning, that I'm demonstrating and talking about. The level of pain is increased. The effects of making you mentally exhausted has increased. And the whole idea is to encourage you to leave. The main idea right now is to make you leave. Have you in so much pain that you'd want to leave and you'd want to shut up, basically. I'm suspecting that I did get heart attacks before. That's not been diagnosed. As a target, everybody you have contact with is infiltrated, and they join the program. Most of them do. 99.9999% of the people who I make contact with in any capacity elect to join the program, to take part in the experimentation and to cover it up. So from the way I felt and what I experienced and what I recorded with these detectors, I'm pretty sure I had a heart attack that was not diagnosed. So the attempts to dispose of me was made and is still being made. When I say people are trying to kill me, I am not kidding. The people who are running this trafficking program is trying to kill me, and that's not paranoia. I have medical records to prove that. The way I was arraigned could be considered attempted murder because the cops who picked me up knew I was targeted, knew I was flagged, knew that the receipt was held, the receipt to surveil me, the person who signed me out was held by a person who's either contracted to a Muslim person or a Muslim person, excuse me, held the contract directly. They knew that when they came and picked me up without question and charged me when I called 911 because I was harassed by the two subcontractors, the two Muslim women, and I called 911. That was basically to shut me up. I'm not going to say I suspect because I strongly believe that that move was made to shut me up. And while I was in their custody, I almost died a few times actually. I passed out twice. So, and I was tortured in a wagon, a dark, hot, completely steel enclosed wagon, completely enclosed. 3 o'clock in the morning, my hand behind my back in cuffs, wearing a heavy coat with the heat on, asked for the heat to be turned off. It was not turned off. 3 in the morning on the road and nobody knew where I was. A detective made a call to a family member who never picked up, so nobody knew where I was. I honestly thought I was going to die. In fact, I probably did. I passed out. I probably had a heart attack because after that, I had my body was completely swollen. My legs were swollen. My doctor thought something was wrong with my veins. And of course, nothing was diagnosed, but I had all the symptoms. So this is the reason I'm talking. I think there are cops in the police force who are targeting me. And as such, my life is in danger from being picked up by them because the people in this building want to get rid of me. And they want to shut me up because I'm talking about trafficking, remote trafficking, where I'm logged in, as I'm proving with these signals, and I'm being tortured with pain caused by these signals, and which is microwave signals. And I'm being raped with these signals and other technologies that's being used. Gang raped. So the trafficking aspect of this, that is, I believe, the main reason that traffickers are trying to get rid of me is the lucrative business of a remote trafficking being done without the victim's knowledge. That it's very important to cover it up because once the way it's being done is exposed, then a lot of people can get detectors. They can get the technology to find out whether they're infrared imaged, because every time you're infrared imaged and you're hit with signals, then your body temperature changes. You can have technology or get technology to expose that. You can infrared image your body and see how hot it becomes in specific spots when you're hit with laser light technology. So if people are aware that they are victimized this way, then they could take precautions and they could get technology to expose it. So it's important for the traffickers to shut me up, which of course I'm not going to do. I'm not going to shut up. Absolutely not. So because there's a lot of traffickers out there who are targeting kids. Considering I suspect that I was targeted at 16 and a half when I came to this country. Of course, there are pedophiles out there with this technology that they're using to target kids. The market for pedophiles, of course, are kids. And when kids talk about what I'm talking about, then there's absolutely no credibility. Kids have a lot of imagination. Kids are not believed. Kids will not be believed. Absolutely not believed. So this is one of the reasons I'm talking. I strongly suspect that there are kids in this building who are being targeted this way. There's a lot of women, single women who are living alone in this building. They're also being targeted this way. Maybe they enjoy it, maybe not. But I'm sure there's a lot of women who don't know that they're being targeted this way. So they're being victimized. For the ones who do know and go along with it, that's fine. There are some Chinese people in the building who may know what's going on and not taking part in it and shutting up. And that's fine. It's their choice. The technology that's being developed, from what I have come to understand from being subjected to it and my studying it, is could be very pleasurable. It is technology that's being developed, I'm suspecting, to develop robotic style sex. A robot being used for sex, basically. And they're trying to incorporate in the robot human like qualities using haptic technology to program the robot to please the human. Maybe please another robot, who knows? But to please a human being. So if you can do this to a machine, then of course they're trying to do it to another human being. So men would absolutely love this. This is why men are taking part in this targeting program. Because there's a lot of men out there who are not Sharia, just regular men, who, from research I did, if they got the chance to rape and get away with it, they will. So if men are given the chance to rape remotely and get away with it, of course they will rape. This is the nature of the male animal. Women have good reason to be afraid of one out of every two men, basically, because if they are given, and the ratio, that was the ratio in the article I read, if they're given a chance, one out of every two men, if they're given a chance to rape and get away with it, will rape. So here we have remote technology that has been developed that allow a man and some women too, bisexual women, to access a woman or a man and rape the person and get away with it, because it's very hard to prove. And if you do talk about it, then you're told you're mentally ill, because this program extend into the police force that's been infiltrated with pedophiles and traffickers. And the good guys in the police force, the good cops, cannot talk. They will be killed. They are forced to go along with the agenda because they will be killed if they talk. So I guess what I'm saying, bottom line, is I'm speaking out, and I'm doing so regularly because it is an ongoing agenda to get me mentally committed or criminalized, framed, and put away. And I'm suspecting Rohini Bessasaw was framed. She was flagged because she was diagnosed diagnosed schizophrenic, so she was flagged. And I'm harassed with the comments that there is no room in a psych ward, so this is what they're doing instead, which is garbage. I've never been a prostitute. There's absolutely no criminal. There's nothing, absolutely nothing criminal in my background. But they're doing this to save place. This doesn't make sense. And Rohini Bessasaw had a PhD. She had 3 degrees. So there was no criminality in her background either. So she's a victim. She was, at this point, I'm going to say it's beyond suspicion. I believe that she was being experimented with and trafficked. And the experimentation was part of the trafficking. Developing the victim to customize her for the clients. And every time the client changes, then the victim is customized to the new client. And in the process of customizing, there is experimentation. So that's one set of experiments that are being carried out, and there are other experiments as well. A target is used for all kinds of experiment because a target's life is of no value. You can use them, abuse them, and then dump them. This is the whole idea. Of course, there's a million ways that your human rights are being violated, and there's all kinds of laws that's being broken in the process. But the fact that the community has turned you out, has designated you as a target, means that nobody's going to help you and nobody's going to lay a charge because you said something. Your voice is not going to be heard. You're not going to be taken seriously. This is what a target is. So there's all kinds of court cases that would arise from this whole program. And I'm on my second one. So, there's no mental illness here other than stress being caused and health issues caused by being harassed this way. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk to you another time. And I actually got a pause behind my neck, but it didn't show up. Oh, there you go. That's it right there. And I'm just going to take my pressure one more time before I close off. And this has been 20 minutes. And probably going to go over my time limit on the YouTube video. Oh. Actually, I actually ran out of time, so I'm not going to take my pressure. I'll have to cut my video off here. Hopefully talk to you another time.